There once was a village deep within the forgotten jungles of Africa, a village named Nyoka. It was surrounded by ancient trees and cloaked in fog, as though the earth itself wished to keep it hidden. But Nyoka was known not for its beauty, but for a curse, a legend whispered only in the dark. They spoke of a mask, a red mask, a mask that killed. At midnight, no one knew who created it, only that those who saw it didn't live to tell the tale. In this village lived a young girl named Nia, curious, bold, and drawn to mysteries. She lived with her grandmother, an old woman full of riddles and warnings. Each night, by the flickering fire, Nia would beg her to tell the stories the others were too afraid to share. Nia said to grandmother, "Tell me about the red mask." Grandmother said, "No, child, some things are better left untold. That mask, it brings death." That same night, the village heard something strange. The sound of ankle bells. Then a scream, sharp and sudden. In the morning, the body of a boy named Zumo was found near the river. Eyes open, blood on his lips. And next to him, the red mask. The villagers panicked. They claimed the curse had returned. No one dared speak its name. But Nia, she couldn't look away. Later that night, Nia crept out of her hut. The air was thick, the moon full and pale, and in her hands she held a basket. Inside it, the mask. She had taken it, hid it under her bed. Drawn to its glow, its mystery, its unspoken promise. What she didn't know was that by touching the mask, she had awakened something. That night, the drums outside the village stopped. The wind died, and in the silence came the footsteps. Heavy, slow, hollow. Nia sat up in her bed, eyes wide. She could hear someone or something outside her door. The mask was no longer under her bed, and the real horror was just beginning. The red mask was gone. Nia stood in her hut frozen. The place where she had hidden it was empty. The air smelled strange, like old firewood and blood, and from outside, the footsteps had vanished. She didn't sleep that night. The next morning, no one knew what she had done. No one saw her sneak out of her hut and follow the strange trail into the forest. But something had changed. The villagers felt it. Old women covered their faces. Children cried without knowing why. Even the birds had stopped singing. Nia went to the only person who might know the truth, the village shaman Ibo, an ancient man who lived in the caves beyond the sacred trees. "You touched the mask? You awakened it, child. The mask is not a thing. It's a spirit, a soul bound in rage." He handed her an old scroll, its edges torn and darkened with age. "Every 100 moons, the spirit must feed. If the mask is disturbed, it begins the ritual of red ashes. And it won't stop until it drinks 5 souls." Nia's hands trembled. She had already taken it. The ritual had begun. That night, a second scream echoed through Nyoka. A woman, Nia's neighbor, found with her face twisted in terror. Eyes burned red. And by her side, the mask once again. But now, the mask had changed. It was no longer dull red. It pulsed like flesh, as if it had tasted life and wanted more. The villagers demanded answers. They blamed old ghosts. Some whispered that Nia had brought this curse, but no one dared accuse her aloud. That night, Nia had a dream. She stood in a circle of fire. Masks floated around her, dozens of them, each one crying, each one bleeding. And in the center, the red mask spoke. "You took me from my sleep. Now I will take yours forever." She woke up gasping. Sweat drenched her. Her hands were stained with ash. Nia tried to stay awake. But as dawn came, her reflection in the water showed something different. Her eyes, once brown, now flickered with a faint red hue. She blinked, and the mask flashed in the water's surface. The mask no longer needed to be worn. It had chosen her, and it was already inside her. The villagers gathered in the square. A third person had died. Nia stood among them silent. But as the chief began to speak, the wind howled. The fire pit burst into flames, high and wild. And then, Nia smiled. Just for a second. A smile that wasn't hers. The ritual was halfway done. And no one, not even Nia, could stop what was coming next. Nyoka was unraveling. 3 deaths. 3 souls claimed. And now, the village lived in silent terror. They gathered every night, lighting fires, chanting old prayers. But nothing worked. The mask had awakened, and it had chosen Nia. Nia tried to fight it. She drank herbs. She prayed with her grandmother. She even tried to burn the mask. But it always returned. Every time she shut her eyes, it was waiting. In the shadows. In her breath. Inside her. Nia wasn't alone anymore. She was sharing her soul. One morning, the body of Shaman Ibo was found. Twisted. Charred. His scrolls reduced to ash. And on his chest, etched with blood, was a single word. 4. Villagers said, "The mask is counting. It wants a 5th. Everyone now turned to Nia. Some wanted to exile her. Some wanted her to be the 5th offering. But one person refused to give up, her grandmother. That night, as the villagers tied Nia to a post, her grandmother stepped forward, weak, old, but her eyes burning with something fierce. Grandmother asked, "You want a soul? Then take mine instead." She placed her hands on the mask and whispered an ancient word, a word lost to time. The wind stopped. The flames died. And for a moment, the world went silent. Then a flash of red light, and she collapsed. The 5th soul had been taken. The mask fell to the ground, cracked and smoldering. The curse, they thought, was broken. Nia was free, or so they believed. But that night, as she washed her hands by the river, she looked down, and her reflection stared back. Not with her eyes, but with the masks. Nia said, "I didn't ask to be chosen, but now, I am the mask." Years passed. Nyoka changed. New families arrived. New children laughed in the fields. No one spoke of the red mask anymore. Until one day, a child wandering in the jungle found something, wrapped in old cloth, buried beneath a twisted tree. "What is this?" The cloth unwrapped. It was red. It pulsed. And from within, a voice whispered, "Time to begin again." If you felt the mask's shadow in your soul, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. For in every story, there is always another who listens and awakens what was meant to sleep forever.